You might be sabotaging your jiu-jitsu and not even know it. Here's a few things, some mistakes that you might be making that are making your development in jiu-jitsu a lot harder than they need to be. And let me caveat this by saying I have made absolutely every single one of these and probably will continue at various times to dip into them. So this isn't a judgment. This is just something I've observed that can help you get better faster. Number one, random techniques from Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, whatever it is. Social media has injected a bunch of fun into jiu-jitsu. It used to be really difficult to see what people were out there doing. You had to go to forums, you had to go to these websites that hosted some videos that were not the highest quality, and now you can log into Instagram and see high-level competitors, the best in the world, demonstrating techniques or see their competition videos as well. And this is great. However, simply accumulating a random smattering of techniques that you loosely try in your roles is not really going to help your development. Now, I have folders full of techniques on Instagram from people that I enjoy, but I don't just want to roll into class and try something random. Instead, try starting to develop a system that you have. If you have a system that works well for you, then you can start to integrate some of these things when you see something on Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube. When you see something out there in the wild, you can integrate it into your system, especially if it's already adjacent to what you're doing. Then that is a better strategy than simply trying the random helicopter choke you saw somebody do on Instagram. So careful just accumulating techniques and trying them at random. Number two, drilling with zero intention. I'm not going to get into the debate between CLA or echo or whatever it is versus static drilling. I do think there's value to static drilling, but doing it just to do it is not going to get you better. You want to drill with intention. You want to drill with the intention of getting more precise, of really getting the motor pattern down, of really understanding the nuances of the technique itself and the principles that are built into the technique. Because we learn techniques not so much to accumulate them, but to extract from them the principles of jiu-jitsu. That's something I do think the Eco Bros get right. It's a principle-based approach, and that's what we want to do when we're drilling. We want to drill with intention, drill with precision, and extract from those techniques the principles that we're trying to learn and apply to our game. Number three, doing the exact same thing over and over again. Now, number three and number four are going to be slightly paradoxical. But number three, simply doing the same things, especially the things that you're good at, over and over and over again, and not getting outside of that small context window, that's not going to help you develop as a jiu-jitsu player. Okay, so we all have a game. We have an A game. I've talked about this, an A game, a B game, and a C game. I've talked about this framework, so I don't want to go too in depth. But if all you're ever doing is exercising your A game, you're never going to develop and expand that A game into something else. So I've rolled with lots of really fantastic people and have always been struck by the level of willingness they have to try things outside of their wheelhouse, especially when they're not in that sharpening period of getting ready for a specific competition. So you have an A game, and that's a great thing to have, but don't just sit there. You want to expand the circle of that A game as you go along, and the only way you do that is you try stuff that you're not good at. Number four, not developing a game. I told you they're going to be a little paradoxical, but this kind of harkens back to number one. If you're just trying a bunch of random techniques and you don't ever develop something that is your A game, you're just going to be kind of randomly training and going for something every now and again. Now, there's times for this, and this is fine, especially if you have a good understanding of the principles of jiu-jitsu. You don't necessarily need to have a game, but as you're as you're developing, you do want to have some stuff that you do really well. They're your spots, right? Think of basketball. There's certain spots that if a certain player gets there, man, they are lights out from that spot on the court. In jiu-jitsu, we want to have that as well. We want to have some spots where we finish, right? Or we sweep, or we have our spots that we can get to and we can execute really, really well. We have a good game plan for that. So it's important not to get stuck in your A game, but it's also important to actually have one. And finally, number 5, trying to win every single round, treating every training session like it's the finals at the Mundials or the finals at Abu Dhabi. This is training. In training, we get better. I remember being told something about powerlifting years ago that always stuck with me as a principle that you can apply to life. There's times where we want to develop strength, and there are times where we want to demonstrate it. For the competitive lifter, the time to demonstrate it is competition. Same thing really here. When we train, we are developing skills. When we compete, we are demonstrating them. So don't treat every single round like your life is on the line, because it just isn't. That doesn't mean your intensity has to be non-existent. You can still vary the intensity by throughout your training week. You can vary the level of intensity and the techniques that you go for, all that kind of stuff. You can still get an intense training session without treating it like you have to win it, right? Those are two different things. So get rid of the need to win in training, and I think you'll get a whole lot better. That's it, guys. That's 5 things that you might be doing that could be sabotaging your jiu-jitsu. So I hope these help. Hope you can keep these at the top of your mind, and I hope these help you get better.